Good evening. We are live with another edition of Let's Talk Broncos with host Kurt Valenti. Good evening, Mr. Valenti. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mrs. Valenti?
I am doing well, thank you. And just because the Broncos season may have ended, Let's Talk Broncos will continue on.
Oh yeah. At first I was like, we'll see how many, but let's do this. I mean, this is awesome. Every week we got so much news. I mean, we're gonna have news breaking every week with these Broncos, and hey, let's be a part of it. I'm gonna be doing Broncos shorts every now and then, anytime news breaks. And hey, when we have to get to the stream, we'll get to the stream. But let's go.
Well, while you finish up your tagging there and getting this show across multiple platforms and making sure you tag everybody who you'd like to see it, let's just remind a little bit about our programming that we have going on. On Wednesday evenings, you do a little double duty. You did your K and K this evening, and you know what? You know your Bronco show is continuing. Are Kenny and Paul going to be continuing their Giants show?
Yes, they are. I want to say, I know Kenny's got a hectic work schedule. I believe they're going to do Monday right now
Okay.
is the word. It's not official, but I believe
Okay.
that's where it's going to be. But yes, they will be continuing.
All right, and see if you like and follow the K and K Sports Show on Facebook, YouTube, and all our other social media platforms. You'll get alerted when they go on. Wits and Wagers is on a little bit of a hold, right? Since the playoff football, there's so few
Yeah,
sports.
what it's becoming more of a Carson and Clam show. They do it on Saturday mornings. They've been doing something, but definitely Saturday mornings. They do a great
Okay,
job. They get the late, it's early still on a Thursday. So just for the 4 games, like they'll have all the information on
the
Saturday.
up to date information regarding
Yeah.
wagering on Saturday morning ahead of those NFL playoff games. We are excited for All In on High School Sports. We did return last week. We took a little break this week because you and I have been attending some games, but the we're returning our All In on St. Mary's Sports tomorrow evening. Our fantastic host and intern at St. Mary's herself, Gabby Higgins, will be returning tomorrow evening at 7:30, and her first guest of 2024 will be Coach Gascione of the St. Mary's boys basketball team.
Oh, awesome. I'm pumped to watch it. I mean, I know I have to do something. I have to work the board meeting, but I will be definitely tuned in on the way home. And Gabby does a great job. St. Mary's boys basketball is doing an awesome job this year. Coach Gascione. I know his son, Luke, will be coming on, 1,000-point scorer. And just a tremendous team. They're a tremendous team this year.
He'll also be joined by Victor Torres as well,
Yes.
another
Yep.
yeah,
Sensational player.
yeah. So we have Patrick Miller checking in. I just want to get that comment up there. He's
What's
saying,
up,
"Hi, Kurt."
Patrick? Great friend of mine, coworker in the Kearney School District, and a big Cincinnati Bengal fan. So he did say he was going to chime in tonight. So thank you, Patrick, for watching. Hope
Oh,
all is
very
well.
nice, awesome. Well, Kurt, let's hop right in. Why don't you start us off with your opening statement?
Yeah, it got back to the first time this year in a long time, right? That we had meaningful Bronco football late in the season, right? Pretty much up until maybe, I mean, definitely Christmas Eve, but New Year's Eve, still in there. I mean, again, that loss, Christmas Eve still haunts me and us Bronco fans. But you know, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little disappointed last weekend. A little felt left out. It's you look at these teams and you see the Buffalo Bills advance this week, beat them in Buffalo. See the Kansas City Chiefs advance last week, beat them this year in Kansas, beat them this year in Denver, Kansas City. Houston Texans, they advance. Listen, we're a couple yards away from beating them, right? Look at the NFC, Green Bay Packers. They advance. Guess what? We beat them in Denver. So we're right there. For all these people, oh my God, no, we're not. No, we're not. We should have been a playoff team. We really should have won the division. But looking back, hey, terrible loss at the end of the year. We should have been in the playoffs. I felt a little jealous, Jen. I felt a little jealous, and that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling because we know we're close. And I love what Peyton Manning came out and said on the Manning cast. Did you see what he said, Jen? I
I think
guarantee
you told me that next year they will be a playoff
there'll
team,
be a
right?
playoff team and they'll be hosting a playoff game. So let's go.
All right. Well, we got Kenny checking in, and he's saying good evening, Jen and Kurt, and he wants to know if the camera is protected this week. Last week, the camera literally took a little bit of a hit.
The camera is not protected. I'm going to be honest. It's not. So it's, hey, hopefully we have a second camera, right, Jen? We, just in case.
I don't know about
Hope we
that,
don't have to,
but
hope we don't have to go there.
we did. I did ask you to move a water bottle before, so maybe
Yeah.
there's less within your reach, so it's protected in that way. And we have Jody Moncrief checking in, saying today you are one day closer to Russ being back.
Damn right, baby. Damn right. And I want to apologize to my friends from the Denver Bronco Roundup, Jen, because last night was the first Denver Bronco Roundup show with Keith and Albert and Jody and Trevor, and they do an unbelievable Bronco show. And it's the first one I missed, Jen, because we were at the St. John Seton Hall game. We have awesome tickets from a coworker, someone who, one of my coworkers, John O'Connor Jr., his one of his friends had tickets, woman, and she gave us unbelievable tickets. Jen, we're right behind the St. John's bench, and I felt bad because it's the first Denver Bronco Roundup show I missed. But you bet I go back and I'll be listening to that. But I want to give a shout out to the guys; they're unbelievable with the Bronco shows.
Let's a quick little sidebar on that. We had back-to-back sporting events, right? On Monday, we went to see the Knicks. On Tuesday, we were afforded the opportunity to go see your Johnnies play at Seton Hall. And we had hit a little. Don't want to, glad we
Yep,
got to go. But Monday, no Brunson, and
lost.
we were so. I convinced you, right, to go to that
You
game,
did last
and
night.
my selling point was we're going to be right behind the St. John's bench. We're going to see Rick Pitino in action up
Mhm.
close. How are we not going to this game? And Kurt, what happened?
He misses the game with COVID. So
Well, hopefully he's feeling better.
yeah,
That's
we
just
need
me.
him.
That's
Listen, we
just us
need him.
being selfish in our two recent basketball games. But it
Yeah.
was just kind of funny that it happened that way. So thanks everybody for checking in. All right, Kurt, let's jump right into our first topic. Okay, first round, you had wild card round for the playoffs. What could the Broncos learn from this first weekend of playoff action?
Style of play, Jen. Style of play. You saw it first off, you know, the weather, right? When have you seen? I mean, they basically postponed an NFL playoff game, Jen. They moved it, right? Because of this weather.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night, you start with Kansas City with freeze. I think it was like the third or fourth coldest game in NFL history. You know, the style of play, and Jody just nailed it. Run the ball. First and foremost, you have to build your team to be a run first team. Why? Think about it. You could play the whole year, Jen. Okay, the whole year, whatever. And now all of a sudden, my season's going to depend on a snowstorm, a rainstorm, 3 degrees. What does it say? Run the ball. First and foremost, be a run first team. Doesn't matter with weather, doesn't matter with snow, doesn't matter with cold. And you know what? You watch the Green Bay Packers just absolutely dissect the Dallas Cowboys. And people are going to go and say, yeah, but look at Jordan Love. He threw the ball. He threw it because of how the run set up the pass, because they were gashing them for 7 yards, 8 yards. They gained 9 yards on first down, 9 yards rushing the ball. You got to play the run. Now you play the run, Jen, and guys are wide open, wide open. It's just, that's the way the sport is. Run it first, run the ball. I want to run it. I want to play defense, and I want my quarterback to make 4 to 6 plays a game. That's what I want. And you know what? That travels. I don't care if I have to go on the road for it, because you know what? You could have the crowd yelling and screaming. And you know what? When you have to audible pass plays and pass protections, that's when it's trouble. But when you're lined up, Jen, and you're just going to go and say, hey, on first sound, we're going to run it right down their throats. That crowd it's not that important, that crowd. We'll quiet that crowd. Run the ball, play defense, make your quarterback make a couple plays. Run the ball first. That's what I.
We
That's
have
what I do.
Clayton checking in, saying
Stop,
hello,
Clayton.
encouraging everybody to like and share all things K and K. He's saying, "Man, oh man, look out for the pack," and he's also saying, "Great ground and pound game and great receivers
Yeah.
and quarterback."
Listen, it's Jen, it doesn't, like we sit here and it's like we just watched the national championship. What did they do? Right? They ran it for 309 yards. It's like the formula doesn't lie. It doesn't matter where you go on the road, in the snow, and you're not going on this in the snow and saying, I'm going to throw it 40, 50 times. It's stupid. You can't do it. I don't care who it is. You just can't do it. You have to run the football. And it's why Sean Payton, Jen, okay? It's why Sean Payton better get this New Orleans. Remember, where did he coach, Jen?
At the New Orleans Saints
And where is that? That stadium is in a
in
what?
Louisiana. Oh, what do you mean,
It's in a
Louisiana?
dome. It's in a dome, right?
Oh, the
It's live.
stadium.
You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it in December and January when you're in a dome. Okay. But you know what? Sean Payton teams were never good in December on the road, never good in the playoffs on the road. Why? Because you can't throw the ball. Plus, they had a quarterback, Drew Brees, who, listen, Drew Brees was a great quarterback, but he wasn't a deep ball thrower in a windy stadium and stuff like that. He didn't have the arm strength to be able to, fight through wind and stuff like that. It's why they never won. Right. So he's got to get that out of his head. You have to look and say, listen, hey, things have changed. And first off, you're playing in Denver, right? Is there a chance of snow in January, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's chance of cold weather. So you have to be a run first team. No BS. No BS.
We
You
have
got it.
Jody.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we have Jody backing you up with that, saying Dak Prescott threw 66 times. Look what happened there, right?
It's true. But think about it. Uh, you know, on one, you have one team just gashing you, running the ball, play action. And here come the Cowboys. We're just going to throw it, throw. What happens? Pick. What happens again? Pick six. Ball game. Ball game's over. You cannot be like, okay, I'm just going to throw the ball. It doesn't work like that. You run it to set up the pass. That's why when you watch that Green Bay game, you're like, how are these guys wide open? They're wide open because you have 8 and 9 guys now committed to the run and you're leaking people out. Run it, run it, run it. It's that easy.
We got Pearl checking in, saying hello. Hi,
What's
Pearl.
up,
Thanks for
Pearl?
watching. And Patrick saying, what you say about the run is so true. You need a good running back.
It's true. You know what, Patrick? We say it all the time. He's a big Bengal fan, right? And you know, obviously, when you think Bengals, you think about Joe Burrow, right? Jen, Jamar
Hmm.
Chase, and T. Higgins, and listen, those guys are fantastic. But look at when Cincinnati really made their run, and look at last year. In last year's divisional playoff, in snow, okay, in a snow game at Buffalo, okay, you had the Cincinnati Bengals go to Buffalo. Buffalo, for some reason, and that's why Ken Dorsey's fired, the offensive coordinator, threw it 50 times in a snowstorm. What did Cincinnati do? Lined up, ran Joe Mixon and P. Ryan right down their throats. The more physical team won. Now you make Josh Allen one-dimensional. Here come the picks. And Jen, guess who won that game last year?
Cincinnati.
What a coincidence, right? What a coincidence. They went into Kansas City. They got screwed. They got screwed in that game too. But they were physical. They didn't go in there, I'm going to sling it around. You run it. You run the ball, especially in that weather. So exactly, Patrick. The more physical teams always going to win.
All right, let's go on to our next one. It's been a week. It's a week later. Time to reassess if there's any difference in opinions. What are the Broncos' quarterback possibilities?
I don't think there's that. I think it's easier a week later. The answer is Russell Wilson. I'm going to put money aside. See, quarterback, you can't play around, right? Quarterback, it's not like, all right, I'm going to get a cheaper running back. I'm going to get a cheaper. You cannot play around. Just like in the NBA, Jen, you're a big basketball person, right? Right
Hmm.
now in this league, what position can't you really be like, oh, we're just going to put an average person there and try to get by? Because we've seen it.
I would say point guard.
Point guard, right? We've seen it. We've been bad, and we've been always bad because our point guard has been bad. But you know what? We got a star point guard now. Has everything changed? Everything changes. We were going and saying Elfrid Payton versus Damian Lillard, Elfrid Payton versus this guy. We're always at such a disadvantage. Not now. We got the better player now, right? So the same thing with quarterback. I don't care. Russ makes this. You know what it comes down to? The best player we can get for quarterback has to be our quarterback. Who is the best player? And when you find who the best player is, you build around and you make your game plan around that best player. You know who the best quarterback option for us, Jen, is? Russell Wilson.
Russ Wilson.
He's the best player. End of story. I don't want to hear he makes this and I don't care. He's the best player. He's the best option. You cannot play games with this position. Okay? We have done that. We had an all-world defense, and we threw it away because we had Trevor Siemian. We had teams, and we threw it away with Case Keenums and Teddy Bridgewaters. You cannot do it. It doesn't work. So you look and say, who is the best quarterback out there? I'm not even going to Jared's. That's garbage. All right. You want to throw Kirk Cousins in there? You want to throw Baker Mayfield in there? Listen, I'll have that conversation with you. I'll sit there and say, okay, you want to say Russ, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. You know that, Jen, right?
Mm-hmm, I do.
All right. Listen to me. I'm still going to go Russ over those two. But you could talk me into the other two. No, you're not talking me into anybody else. I don't want to, I heard we had somebody on a comment last week here, Jen, and say, it's the year of the second string quarterback. Well, how'd Joe Flacco do Saturday? Did you watch him? Pick six, 2 plays later, pick six, season's over, put him in a bag. Here's for Kenny. Here you go, Kenny. Put him in a bag, lock him up. What are you doing, Cleveland Browns? Gone. Pittsburgh Steelers, we got Mason Rudolph. We got another backup quarterback. Well, third string, we got a backup. What'd you do? Pack him up. Jen, guess what? Gone. That doesn't lie. You don't win with backups. This is the year of the second of quarterback 2B. What? 2B for what? Garbage. No. So, Jen, Russell Wilson. Now, again, we got to talk contract. We got to sit man to man, Sean and him. You want to bring in, you know what? Maybe you don't even bring Sean, but you bring Greg Penner in. Okay? I know we made you that deal, but things have changed. Okay? We need to work around your contract a little bit. Let me ask you something, Jen. Is that fair? Honestly, is that fair?
Well, you know what? Real quick, we have Wayne saying hello. Jody
What's up,
saying
Wayne?
if it's Stidham, he might not be able to watch a game next year, and Pearl is agreeing with them. And Jody saying starting Mason over a healthy Pickett says volumes about Pickett. You know what? Is it fair? Yes, because you know what? If Russell Wilson wants to win, right? If he wants to stay and he wants to win and he wants to allow the Broncos to have the money and the capital to build around him, then I do think it's fair. But what irks me though is like they offered him that contract. Listen, things change, I get it, but what contracts in professional sports just mean nothing anymore. That's what bothers me at the core of it. But I like to think that again, if Russell wants to stay and be part of that organization and wants to win as a Bronco, then he has, he has a good
Jody's last
he can help make it happen.
Look at Jody's last Manning had to do it. Everybody has to do it.
Brady did it.
What?
Tom Brady did it.
Brady always did it.
Oh, yeah.
Brady always did it. Peyton Manning did it. I mean, Peyton Manning went from 20 million. Elway said, you're making 10 million. And we gave him, listen, he got the money because he got 5 million to win the AFC championship, 5 million to win the Super Bowl. So he got his money back. But I'm saying is, listen, that's the way it works, man. So listen, that's a little on Russ. Listen, you don't go in, you're going to be benched. Stupid. That was stupid what they did. But you know what? Hey, Listen, it's best for both parties. Okay. It's best for Russ to be here, and it's best for Russ to be our quarterback. That's the way for the Broncos. That's the way it is. I'm going to be, Jen, there's no other option. Again, if you're going to sell me on Kirk Cousins, I just don't know how it can get done. We don't have the money. I don't know how it can get. If you can get me Kirk Cousins, I think Kirk Cousins would be good with Sean Payton. I think Baker Mayfield will be. But Baker Mayfield, listen, Baker Mayfield's in the NFC divisional playoff. He's not going to come here for $7, $8 million, $10 million. He's going to want $30 million. And you know what? If he wins in the postseason, you got to give it to him. But what I'm saying is, the best thing to do is Russ. And again, the next two drafts, again, I am a firm believer, Jen, that I do not have to take a quarterback at number 12. If my quarterback is, again, Penix, I want no part of Penix. But if it's Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy, if that's his guy, go get him, man. Go get him. But you know what? Again, it's either they're playing from day one, there's no competition, or I want Russell. I want to do what Green Bay did. Rodgers to Love. I want Russ playing until they're not good, or McCarthy or Bo Nix is ready. That's it.
Kurt, let me get in. Let me get in. You got a couple questions that your audience is
Sure.
asking you. So let me get these in here. Let me go back. I was saving Kenny's. There's a kind of piggybacked off what you were talking about. Like we were reassessing the quarterback situation, right? And you've been saying a lot of what you want. Kenny's question is give 3 worst case scenarios for the Broncos starting quarterback week 1.
Oh my,
2024. So
Jared
3, ready? Give them quick. Just 3 worst case scenarios. Go.
Stidham. I'm going to be honest, like 3 Garoppolo, Stidham, and like any backups, like again, I'll throw some names out, like Jacoby Brissett, Mason Rudolph, Teddy Bridgewater.
Is the wrong rookie in the draft on that list too? Like the wrong, not a McCarthy, not like is the wrong draft?
Nope. You know what?
Okay.
Nope. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm all in. If you want to draft a rookie, play him. I'm all. If you want to play, I have no problem with it. I do not. My words. I do not want to throw a season away or throw 7 games away with these garbage can bridge quarterbacks because
All right, let me
that's
get your
what they're
next. All
doing.
right. Okay, well, that kind of goes to Trevor's question here. I think that you're describing these as the garbage bridge quarterbacks. If not Russ, why not Tannehill or Garoppolo for a year? Don't
No,
need to force a rookie quarterback if you aren't 100% that he's not the guy.
nope, absolutely. Well, then if he's not the guy, we don't draft him. That's my thing. I'm either all in with him. Like I want CJ Stroud or don't draft him. That's it. CJ Stroud or don't draft him. Why are you
Right.
drafting him? Why are we wasting a 12? Do you know who you could get with the 12th pick in the draft? You could get a star. I'm not going to, well, hopefully, no. Then don't draft him. For quarterbacks, you have to be all in and say, this is my guy. There's no quarterback, there's no Paxton Lynch versus Trevor Simeon. There's none of that. Draft them. You either draft them and play them, or you have a legit quarterback like Russell Wilson and then go.
All right. Well, Pearl was agreeing with you. She's not a fan of either. And Wayne's posing a question: is Russ worth the money he's making if he can't get in the playoffs? No, wait, not just the playoff appearance for that kind of money. He needs to bring home a championship like Manning, right?
I agree. And I've said this a couple of times. Is Russell Wilson worth the money? No. But Patrick Mahomes isn't worth the money. Dak Prescott isn't worth the money. Jalen Hurts isn't worth the money. Justin Herbert isn't worth the money. Josh Allen isn't worth the money. Do I have to keep going? They're not. Honestly, the best quarterback in football is Aaron Rodgers. Nobody else. Maybe Burrow, but they're not worth the money. But the problem is when you give Kirk Cousins 90 million, 30 million guaranteed, I have to go over to Russ. Russ is better. When I give Dak Prescott that money, you're giving quarterbacks that are less that aren't as good as these guys, and I gotta bump them up again. I'll say it again. Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is greedy. He wanted $50 million. How could you not give him 50? You're gonna pay Dak. He deserves triple of what Dak Prescott is. Triple, triple. If Peyton Manning was in the league and Breeze, they'd be making 100 because Dak Prescott stinks. He stinks. He never wins big games, and he's going to get $59 million next year. Can you imagine? How can anybody complain about Russell Wilson? Imagine giving Dak Prescott $59 million. That's just absurd. So no, he's not worth the money. He's not worth the money, but he's better than Dak Prescott. So
Let me get a few of these comments, Kurt. We have Jody saying that JJ is the only round one quarterback he would want. Trevor's agreeing with you about the Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. At this point, they're going to cost too much.
yep.
And Keith, hello, Keith. Thanks for checking in, Mr. Brugman. Keith's posing a question to you. What would be better? We go with Russ next year, or we have Josh Allen after we drafted him 6 years ago?
You see, but here's the thing. In hindsight, yes, and of course. But Josh Allen, a lot of teams missed on Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't in play for the Cleveland Browns, right? The Jets and Giants were both, if they were going to take quarterbacks, it was Darnold, and I believe it was Josh Rosen, right? So a lot of teams didn't like him. Remember, his scouting, like the pre-draft stuff was bad. Like he couldn't hit standing targets. His completion percentage wasn't good. Like he was not a can't miss prospect, So, yeah, in hindsight, would you rather have Josh Allen now? Yeah, but Josh Allen probably wasn't going to be our guy. Elway loved Sam Darnold. It wasn't, if Elway was going to trade up, it was going to be for Sam Darnold. It wasn't going to be, it was never going to be Josh Allen for Denver. So, looking at it like, yeah, but, I don't know. It was never going to be that.
You know what? I think Josh Allen's like this coming weekend is his big.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, exactly. This is where you better win.
Exactly.
You better
Yeah.
win. Because I don't want to hear, well, Josh Allen. And you know what? Think about what Josh Allen did, right? Because all these people that say, well, look what the Broncos had to dummy it down for us. They let Josh Allen be Josh Allen. And you know what happened? Colossal disaster, throwing it all over. They had to fire his offensive coordinator, dummy it down, and say, listen, Josh, we are a run first team, and you're going to make a couple of plays here and there. And you know what? They've won. That's how they've won now. They took the ball out of his hands. So is he worth all that money? No, he's not, because they were like, what is it? The old schools, but hit the wrist, right? Hit the knuckles. Bad Josh. No. We're taking it all away from you. We're going to run it. You'll run around and make a couple plays, and they win, right? When it was Josh Allen, do what you want, they didn't win. Now, dummy it down. You're going to play in a system, run it, play deep. And Jen, guess what? All of a sudden they win, right? They win. Isn't it a miracle? How do they win? Because you run the ball.
We got a lot of comments rolling in. Let me get to some of these comments, Kurt, without you commenting in on them, right? I threw Kenny's up there about he disagrees with you on the Mahomes not being worth the money because Mahomes has won Super Bowls, right? Pearl Heater says we need to find a Purdy, right? Wayne makes a great point here. This was the best season Russ had stat-wise since his Super Bowl days in Seattle, but unfortunately, the stats didn't get us wins, right? Okay, and Keith making a great point here, kind of posing another question here. Would Jordan Love been as good year one as he was this year, or I shouldn't say was, because is this year after sitting?
But who did he sit behind? See, that's the whole key. I'm with him. But he sat behind a legit NFL. Again, first off, people said a washed. Remember that, Jen? Aaron Rodgers is washed. They all said it. They were in the Bronco chat with me with the two other gentlemen. I don't know if they'll join us tonight, but they were in the chat. Oh, he's washed. Aaron Rodgers is washed. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. You know what Aaron Rodgers did, Jen?
Did he go win the
MVPs, right? Back-to-back MVPs. Yeah. You learn behind him, but you don't play. Oh my God, I can't think. Who's the quarterback that went to the Jets? Oh my God, the backup to the other third string quarterback. Someone's got to help me. He was the third string quarterback. He was behind Aaron Rodgers and he went to the Jets. Like you don't play him behind Teddy Bridgewater. That's wasting his time. It's wasting everybody's time. So you play you draft your rookie this year, you play him behind Russ. You play him behind a legit NFL quarterback. That's what you do. And then two things happen, just like they did in Green Bay. One, you tell Aaron Rodgers, hey, I got your replacement. I'm going to push you because if you decline, I have a legit rookie that's going to take over for you. And you know what Rodgers did? F you. I'll show you. And it helped. It worked out for everything. And that's what you want from Denver. You know what? Hey, if we're not winning in Denver and Russ is playing bad, play the rookie. But I'm not going to play him with Jarrett Stidham. I mean, you got to be out of your mind. He's not going to learn anything from Jarrett Stidham. Nothing. You're wasting everybody's time. Play him. But I want exactly what Green Bay did, Jen. I want Russ, just like it went Rodgers to Love, Russ to our rookie. That's what I want. That's best for, because you know why? You're going to contend. You have a chance to win right now. Again, you should have won the West this year. You should have. You beat Buffalo. You beat Kansas City. You beat Green Bay. You should have beat Houston. You don't lose those stupid games early on. Again, I'm not going to say everybody's at fault, but our defense was a mess. You know, we had fumbles. Russ didn't play great. Our coaching was poor. Win one or two of those games. You win two of those games. You're division champs. You'll be playing this week. So you're right there. So you win now, you compete now, and you're ready for your next guy. That's how you get it done.
Or we got Keith saying,
"What to JJ?" That's how it's got to be.
Well, Jody Moncrief just said the exact same thing. Russ to JJ. You two are on a mind meld again. Here we got Keith saying, last time Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl was in 2013. What gives you so much confidence that he can take any team back a decade later? At least that could get us to the playoffs. And you know what? I'm going to throw up Trevor's comment because this is a great segue to our next topic. He's making a great point. The Broncos are not a quarterback away. There's plenty of holes in the roster that can be filled. No need to force a pick of a quarterback. You take your best player available or trade back, which brings us to
1,000%.
Which brings us to our next topics of what else do the Broncos need?
Right.
Let's take a look at that 12th pick in the draft. Go ahead, Kurt.
Again, just like I said before, right? The thing is, you cannot play games with the quarterback position. You know, you could go and say, hey, we're not going to have a running back. We'll go with I'm just going to throw, Swift. I'm going to throw a Tony Pollard. We can take, Elijah Mitchell. Like you put Elijah Mitchell like in a good offensive scheme, it's going to work. But you can't just take a backup quarterback and say, here you go. Because it doesn't work. You saw it in the playoffs. And I like Joe Flacco, but you saw Joe Flacco. He's a backup. He lost the game. Mason Rudolph, he looked lost. These guys look lost in the postseason. They don't belong there. And you cannot mess around. You just cannot mess around. First and foremost, Jody, a tight end. We need.
Knew you were going to like that comment.
But Jen, we need a tight end. We have the worst tight end room in the NFL. It's a fact. It's a fact. Adam Troutman, Dulcich, he's always hurt. I forgot the other guy, the blocking tight end. You don't win like that. Now, I'm not going to say I don't need a blocking tight end, but you got to have somebody over the. I mean, people keep saying Russ don't throw over the middle, but to who? We don't have a tight end to go over the middle. Give me Travis Kelce. He'll throw over the middle. Give me, the Philly guy. Give me Kittle. He'll throw over the middle. Manhurts. Well, I mean, come on. Manhurts ain't going to, you know what I'm saying? Manhurts, he's a blocking tight end. They're not even going to cover him. I'm taking Brock Bowers at 12. I keep Russ. You give me Brock Bowers at 12. Now, whether I still I'll have my Mims and whether I have Judy and son, whatever. But you give me Brock Bowers. I mean, he's the next Gronk. That's what they're saying. He's going to be better than Gronk. Like, that's a problem. Look, we still can't cover tight ends. Since 2015, we can't cover a tight end on defense. So you know what? We can't cover a tight end, and our tight ends are non-existent. You know what? When we won, we had Shannon Sharp, right? Why? Was it because he was a problem, right? He's a problem. We can line him up, move just like they do with Kelsey, just like they did with Gronk. Line him up as a receiver, bring him in like a slot. He can be in his tight end spot. You got to decide where he is. These guys, you think they're covering Adam Troutman? They don't care. What's he going to do? He's a backup. He's another backup we have starting. So first and foremost, Jen, tight end. Secondly, talking about tight end, a linebacker who could cover a tight end. I'm so sick of watching tight ends we saw it with Laporta in Detroit. Up and down the field, we couldn't cover him. Travis Kelce for years. Again, I mentioned on the other show, now declining. He's in love. He's wearing she's wearing the Travis thing. Luckily he's wobbling down the field. We still can't cover him. Any tight end we can't cover. We play the Raiders
Kurt,
every year. Destroy.
Kurt, I don't mean to interrupt. My computer's acting a little funny. I'm probably gonna have to exit and come back in. So just give me a moment, all right? So if you continue.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Albert Knoppers. Hello, Kurt and all Bronco fans. What's up, Albert? Another awesome person from the Denver Bronco Roundup. Wayne Horton, Clarence K was a Bronco tight end. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was a very good tight end. You know what? Wayne? He was a good good run blocker, but also a good receiving tight end. That's a big statement by Wayne. Do we have the money? Devin White in free agency. Listen. That's the guy, Jody. Devin White is the guy. Or trade free agency. I don't know how we can maneuver the money, but I'm not so stern on, oh my God, we're 30 million over the cap. There's teams that when they need to maneuver the cap, they can get out of the cap. So I have no problem again. And we have with our front office and with our ownership of cash on hand and paying cash and stuff like that, giving bonuses and money up front, we could do what other teams can't do. And that's a big advantage for us. But Devin White, oh my God, I'm going to get Devin White tomorrow because he solves all the problems. First off, there's our leader on defense. We don't have a leader on defense. Simmons is not Simmons is a good player, but he's not like a leader. That's gonna Devin, you need a linebacker that's gonna be a physical like specimen, the guy that's gonna hit and make a statement. Devin White, I want as my leader on defense. Jen, are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened. I apologize about that.
Okay. There's Kenny saying, I sound like a broken record. Why pay a guy 10 to 15 next year and add Russ's dead cap? Russ with Saquon, Russ Sutton rookie with Bowers. Just think about how you could fix this, okay? You go get Brock Bowers, Jen, at number 12. Okay? Possible, right? Or even you move up for him a little bit. You go get your tight end. There's your all-world tight end. We need a running back. Jody's yelling it every day. It can't be Javonte Williams. He can't be the number one. He can't be the number one. He's right. You know what? Saquon, here's 10 million. Okay? Go get Devin White. We have no money. We're over the cap. But you could teams finagle the cap left. I've seen teams, they're $50-60 million. The next thing they're in free agency. Kansas City does it all the time. New Orleans did. You could do it, and you got to listen, Garrett Bowles. I'm telling you right now, you're taking a pay cut or we're moving on. Like, I'm sorry. That's the way it's going to be. A lot of people are Justin Simmons might have to take a pay cut. People got to take pay cuts. Sutton might have to take a pay cut, but I don't believe in we're not going to have money. If we need money, we'll find money. And there's other ways around there. Like I said, cash on hand, cash up front, guarantees. We got the richest owners in football. We could get that done.
Kurt, you just made me think of something. You mentioned Sutton maybe having to take a pay cut. Didn't he post kind of a cryptic tweet on Twitter about like almost as if foreshadowing his departure from Denver?
Yeah, the Twitter world was a little crazy because he did that. And I don't know if you saw, I think Russ like 3 or 4 days ago. I was watching the video, Jen. You came on me like, what are you watching? And Russ posted like all offensive of like his highlights and stuff. And he posted 23. We finally beat finally had great wins, finally beat the Chiefs, beat Buffalo. I forgot. And he said 2024. I can't wait to see what's the story. So these people with these like texts and stuff and tweets and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, Jen. But you could find money, you could find ways to do it. But there's your problem. Bring Russ back. Hey, for 10 to 12 million, we got to go get Saquon. I draft Brock Bowers. Your offense is fixed. It's fixed, right? I got to maybe work on a center, but listen, now I have Barkley, Russ, Bowers, any combination of Mims, Judy, Sutton, Brandon Johnson. That's without drafting anybody late. There's that side. And then go get Devin White. Let's go.
You know, you mentioned it before, Kurt, and I feel like it kind of
Oh,
doesn't get
X, Jenny, Kenny, he's saying not Twitter, X.
Yeah, true. You know what? You mentioned it before, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about quite enough when we talk about Russ having to maybe consider taking a pay cut, right? About the incentives. Like he could make up for that loss
Of
in,
course. Of
like I
course.
feel like that doesn't get talked about enough.
Jen, there's so many things that you can do with this salary cap. It happen and listen to me, in every sport. I mean, even like it's a little different with basketball, but football with all this stuff. I mean, you could pay. All right, Russ, we'll extend you for, we'll give you, we're gonna, push this back, move that. You could do whatever you want to do. Same thing with like the Garrett Bowles and the Suttons, and you see it all the time. It's not like, oh my God, the Broncos. You listen to, again, Mark Schlereth and these guys, and they're saying, I probably got asked 20 times to basically like, I got threatened. If I don't restructure, I'm going to get cut. I'm going to get, I mean, you're not talking $40 million, but and then what do they do? Restructure, like that's the way the league works. When you pay, it's not like, okay, like you don't think they're going to do that to Jalen Hurts? Like, or Dak Prescott? You imagine paying Jalen Hurts $61 million? Jalen Hurts. Are you out of your mind? Dak Prescott, $59 million. That's crazy. That's whoever they should all of them should be in handcuffs. Who gave it, who signed it, and who took it should be in handcuffs. All of them. Those guys. Justin Herbert, $60 million for him. Come on.
But money is a great motivator. Think about that last week of the regular season when you have all those players who are playing for those incentives. I mean,
Yep.
it was a betting props, strategy. I like what Trevor's saying here. He's saying though, why would Russ do the Broncos any favors? Right? They benched him. How they handled probably ruined that possibility of that a bit.
You know what? Yeah, it did, but listen, it's where two people have to be men. Hey, Sean Payton's got to go. Russ, listen, I'm going to be honest. I wanted to see things weren't going great with offense. And I wanted to see Jared. I wanted to see how it looked. I was wrong. Our best option is to win with you. Okay. Now, on Russ's side, why do any favors? It is best for Russ to stay in Denver. You can't bounce around. Okay, Seattle wanted me out. Now Denver wanted me out. As much as it is, you still have to, he has an image, right? He has a Hall of Fame possibility projection to go to. Like people are gonna look and say, like, another team like didn't want him and he had to go to a third team and now a fourth team. So for his best interest, it is to stay in Denver. It is to, hey, when he came here, I'm gonna win, not a championship. I'm gonna win championships here. So you know what? Deliver what you say. Stay here. He keeps saying, I want to stay here. And you know what? Yeah, we might need some flexibility financially. So yeah, he may have to do it. And he should. He should. Every quarterback should.
Well, Wayne's saying,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Wayne's saying Russ may only have 3 or 4 years left, and that kind of speaks to your point a little bit too. Like he's not going to want to be bouncing around.
Right.
You gotta
Right.
really
2 or
think
3 years
about
left. Right. Get it done
his,
here.
yeah.
Get it done here. And again, he's your best person to win now and get your next guy ready. I'm not going to sit here and say, I want Russell Wilson for the next 7 years. No, we have to get our next guy, but our next guy has to be the guy, not playing for a year. It has to be the guy. We have one chance. Sean Payton has one chance with the next guy or he's done. That's the way. He's not going to get. I drafted Penix, but he's no good. He's not going to get that. If he drafts Penix and Penix flops, he gets fired. That's the way it's going to work from now, and that's how it should work. You're putting all your baskets in this draft pick, and when you pick him, he better be your guy. But in the meantime, to get him ready, right? To get him ready, you have to win. You have to be ready to win. You're not going to put Jared Stidham out. You saw that. It doesn't work. You watched it Saturday with Joe Flacco. It doesn't work. You watched it with Mason Rudolph. It doesn't work.
Kurt, we got Kenny asking not just you, but anybody who is watching here. Oh, and I threw up. We got Manny
What's
Delima
up,
checking in.
Manny?
Hi, Manny. Thank you
You
for
know what?
watching.
I didn't hear from Manny on K&K, so I'm just a little relieved that he's okay after Sunday.
Dallas fan, right?
He messaged me Sunday, so I knew he was okay. I knew he said, this was the best line I did. Do you remember what I told you? Because I told you what he said to me and I was crying. Do you remember what he said? What channel he
I don't
switched to?
remember. You did tell me. I don't
The
remember.
Hallmark channel he said he went to.
Yeah.
The Hallmark channel. So,
Or
yeah. I'm just happy he's okay.
Kenny's asking if anybody thinks Sean Payton was semi-tanking, right? Getting a quarterback at 12 with many holes, right? So, and Trevor answering Kenny and saying he doesn't think so, because Peyton wants to win. Not sure he cares about where they would have picked. So, what do you think about that?
I'm with Trevor. I don't think so because listen, I mean, you still won a game, right? You still, you beat the Chargers. You still won that game. I mean, you could have played, Danucci if you were, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I don't believe that. And he flat out came out a bunch of times. I'm here to win. We're not tanking. Jen, we don't do that. I've said it. We're not we're not the Panthers. We're not the Cardinals. We don't do that as this organization. That's not how the Denver Broncos are built. You do not do that. It's like, I'm not comparing them to like the Yankees. You don't, when you have storied franchises, you don't do that. You don't tank.
Oh, we got Albert checking in, and he's saying if Peyton wants to win, he shouldn't play Stidham.
1,000%. You can't. That's why. But you know what? Looking back at this situation, I'm glad he did what he did because
everybody got to see it.
Everybody got to see it, right? You could have sold the BS over the offseason of, yeah, but we're going to go with Stidham. No. That is out the window. Jared Stidham cannot be your starting quarterback. Zero chance. So looking back at it, it's the best case scenario. It's the best case for everything because he knows Russ Wilson's a better player than Jared Stidham. You know he is. You're not fooling anybody, but you could have got talked. You could have got these people that say, oh my God, let's watch Jared Stidham. Well, we saw it. And you know what happened, Jen? It stunk. He stinks. He stinks. And I'll say it I like him. He's an Auburn guy, but he stinks. He is a backup quarterback.
All right, Kurt, let's squeeze in. Okay. Let's squeeze in one more topic here, all right? Because we got a good one that I want to make sure that you get to, and I have a feeling your your Denver guys are going to be able to chime in on this one as well. When the Denver ended their season, right? They were going to think about their coordinator positions.
Yep.
So the question is, should the coordinators be safe? And kind of a follow-up question to that is, if not, who are some possible replacement candidates for your OC and DC?
Okay, well, first off, OC, Jen, I really don't think it's a big deal.
My computer's doing it again, Kurt. I don't know what's going on.
I'll take over.
You keep going and I'll come back in.
Wayne Horton saying, have a great night, everyone. I have to sign off. See you all soon. God bless. God bless, Wayne. Thank you for joining. Trevor saying everyone got to see Peyton's offense be very mid-tier as well. We've seen Russ wasn't the problem. Big concern based on what the Broncos gave up for Peyton. Jody saying Pete Carmichael, right? Because I believe Carmichael got fired in New Orleans or let go. So he's there. Pearl saying Stidham had a quarterback rating of 33. Exactly, Pearl. I mean, that's right. That tells you there. That can't be done. And you know what? Looking back at it now, at first I was mad he did it, but I'm glad because he didn't sell anybody the BS over the offseason. It's going to be different with Stidham. No, nothing's different. It's worse. He stinks. He's a backup. I'll be honest with you. With some people, I don't even know if I want Stidham as the backup. I'm going to be totally honest because God forbid something happens. You can't trust him. You're not going to win games with him. So I don't even want him as the backup. I've seen enough of him. Kenny saying, guys, you're missing the point. I sure as heck don't believe Peyton when he said Stidham gives us a better chance of winning. It's called semi-tanking. If Broncos make a move in the draft for Williams or move up, you can't change my mind. Okay. Kenny saying DC make a move to get Wink, Mike Zimmer, or Leslie Frazier. I'll start with this. Offensive coordinator, I really don't think it's that big of a deal because Sean Payton's technically still the offensive coordinator and play caller. He'll get somebody, okay, come up, help me with the game plan, whatever, but it's going to be Sean Payton's show. On defense, 100% we have to look at it. Okay. I'm still not sold on Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph was historically atrociously bad. I don't even know if I said those words right. The first 4 or 5 games of the season. Terrible. And listen, it cost us games. Our defense, I don't want to hear about our defense cost us opening day versus the Raiders. We gave them a lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold them. We gave them a lead versus the Commanders, a 28-point lead. We couldn't hold them, right? We gave up 70 to Miami. We couldn't stop the Bears. We got lucky that the offense came back. We couldn't hold the Jets. I'm sorry. So, you know what? Defensively, absolutely. I'm looking at who's available. First off, does Rex Ryan want to coach? Because if he really wants a coach, I'm looking at him. You know, a guy like Wink who left the Jets. Wink is in the Rex Ryan mold. Absolutely, I'm taking Wink over Vance Joseph. With a guy like a Vrabel, I mean, I don't think those guys like a Vrabel, those guys are going to take defensive coordinator jobs. But Kenny mentioned like a Leslie Frazier. He also mentioned, Mike Zimmer. I'm open to all that, Kenny. I am. I'm not sold on Vance Joseph, 100%. If there's a better candidate, listen, he didn't do terrible overall. But again, at the end of the year, it was like, okay, started off historically bad, then we got good, and then bad again. So I'm sorry. If there's an upgrade in that, I have to upgrade. I'm sorry. I have to. I'm not taking Matt Patricia, but I'm saying after that disaster I watched the other night. But yeah, I have to look into that. Jen, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Trevor's saying, wouldn't be surprised to see Carmichael be the quarterback coach, gives the offense more experience and a new voice. Pearl saying, I've never been a fan of VJ. Yeah, me either, Pearl. Jen, you know that, right? Listen.
Well, you weren't a fan of Vance Joseph as a head coach, that's for sure.
But again, Jen, I'm sorry. You can't not get the Raiders off the field opening day. You can't blow a 28-point lead against the Commanders. You blow a fourth quarter lead against the Jets. You made Justin Fields look like Lamar Jackson times 10. You gave up 70. At the end of the year, you can't stop, Aiden O'Connell. That's on you. That's on him too. If there's an upgrade, listen, I wouldn't be against him coming back, but if there's an upgrade, Wink's an upgrade, right? Rex is an upgrade. You have to look at it. That is not set in stone. If you can upgrade the defense and upgrade him, then upgrade him.
I like Trevor's comment.
Against the Patriots too.
I like Trevor's comment here. Like, though, you need consistency. I mean, you were ready. You were ready after the Miami game, right? To axe him. You were, right? And Sean Payton said he wasn't going anywhere. And you know what? They had some guys hurt, right? They came back fully loaded, and you were singing his praises, Kurt. After that, you're only, to you, he's only as good as his last game. And I understand that, but Trevor makes a good point. You got to think like long term here and the consistency.
Right? Consistency does matter, but when you can upgrade and you have, if there's a viable upgrade position, you have to do it. It's the same thing, just like I said, like, all these people, and I know Kenny is going to disagree with me with this one. The Bears shouldn't take Justin Fields, shouldn't take Caleb Williams. They should keep Justin Fields. No. Caleb Williams is 100 times better than Justin Fields. So you upgrade. You have the chance, you upgrade. That's going to burn you. Then you're going to sit and say, oh my God, look at Caleb Williams. He went to New England and look at it. Yeah. When you can at certain spots, I'm not saying, I'm not going to say you do it for every spot, right? Like Saquon Barkley is better than Javonte Williams. I mean, that you have to look. Do I have the money? Can I? That's a different thing. But on something like a coach, a head coach, just like I said, like Belichick, like Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh wants to coach somewhere, you don't sit and say, "Oh my God, I have you know, Nick Sirianni." Are you joking? You tell Nick Sirianni, "Thank you, appreciate it." You know, take the big Don with you and go, and we're gonna like you have to do that. Quarterback, you can't play the game. Oh my God, we need consistency. Let's give Josh. Imagine if the Cardinals gave Josh Rosen another chance instead of drafting Kyler Murray. You can't do that. So consistency is important, but there's some things like a quarterback. When you can upgrade, you upgrade. Head coach, when you can upgrade, you upgrade. As a coordinator, when you can upgrade, you upgrade. I'm sorry. Let me ask you, Jen. Can you win a Super Bowl with Vance Joseph as your defensive coordinator?
Um, I'm not going to say no. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
I
not.
I I I I don't think he could. No.
You got
I
Carson checking in. I
What's
wanted
up,
to put that up
Carson?
there.
But no, I just totally disagree. You know, I don't. I don't. I haven't seen enough of, you know, he did okay. He did okay, but it's not like, oh my God, wow. Like, look what this guy. No. I go back to right before we hired him. He was in the playoffs against Miami and I'm sorry, against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh put up 40 on that defense when he was in Miami. It just no. No, so again, I'm not 100% against them, but if I can upgrade them, and I'm sorry, the defense needs you in this league. You need a swagger. You need like that fierceness. So Rex Ryan, I'm all in for Rex Ryan because you know what people say about Jen. Who do they say is the best quarterback ever to play?
Who says that?
Everybody. Like who's the
Ev-
best? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's some debate, but it could be Elway.
No. Brady, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
you watched Brady and why when he was with Baltimore.
Tom Brady didn't even enter my mind. That's how much I was thinking Elway, then Manning, then Brady.
Right. Well, that's how I'm ranking them, but I'm saying, you look and why those Jet teams and those Raven teams. I mean, just Rex Ryan was just like, F you, I'm gonna hit you 40 times a game. And you know who else had that mentality was Wade Phillips. And you go back to that 2015 AFC Championship game, and I think they hit him like 28 times. And that's what you got to do. You got to have, and Vance Joseph doesn't have that. And it's nothing against him. It's not, he's a bad guy for that.
I
It's
know,
just, he don't have
but
that.
I think it begs to there's not just one way to win with your defense. Like I don't know. I have a little different
It's
opinion,
not,
a
but
little
you have the
different opinion of that.
mentality of,
I don't think that's the only way you get your defense to be a successful
but
defense.
my thing is when you went up, right, when Brady faced those Denver defenses in 13, 14, and 15, he was scared, like Cam Newton, like we ruined Cam Newton. We ruined him in that Super Bowl. You went from the MVP to, I mean, getting cut. You set a tone of, listen, where Kenny's saying, I gotta come after like Mahomes. Mahomes still isn't like afraid to play you.
But he did, but he did do that in some of the games, and Sean Payton like didn't want him to go anywhere,
No,
So
I know.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, listen, I'm not against him coming back, but I'm not 100% all in. He has to come back. If there's somebody, if there's an upgrade and if there's an upgrade for him, hey, I'm all
I
in.
agree with you. I'm not saying he's necessarily the forever answer, but the where you're at now, I don't know that changing that right now is going to help matters. It might
But
put you even further
but then
behind.
it's a mentality, right? Like you watch
I
the
get, I'm one of the most defensive minded coaches you'll ever meet. I get it,
right.
but
But it's the
I
mentality
just
of
don't
like
know that
you're gonna
that's.
watch, and again, I'm so disappointed in the Cowboys and Dan Quinn. But you watch on Saturday night at 8:30 with the Niners, and I'm all in with Cal Shanahan now with these Niners, right? You watch You watch just the mentality. They're going to be in Jordan Love's face. You're going to see the push, the shove, the listen. I'm telling you right now, when you get tackled, I'm going to drill you to the ground. That mentality is going to go and say, "Oh, I'm going to run out of bounds." It's a philosophy that, again, watch the Brady. Brady's tough, man. But you watch that 2015 game. He's just like, I can't keep getting hit. I can't keep getting hit. And it wears on you. It wears on you. Same thing with Cam Newton. I'm not going to deal with this. That 49er defense, like you got to have that mentality, that Rex Ryan of, hey, we're coming after you. We're going to hit you. We're going to knock your helmet off. I'll take 2 15-yard penalties, but I'm telling you, you're not going to do it. You're not going to be flexing. And again, you didn't see that from Kelsey this year, right? You didn't see that. You don't see that. And you don't see it because teams, the physicality, you have to be physical and you have to be aggressive on defense.
Kurt, couple things. Trevor had said, definite no to Rex Ryan, and Kenny had kind of asked him in the comments there, like, why the Rex Ryan hate? And I don't think that Trevor responded, but I like what Pearl wrote here because she did respond to it, and she said, "Rex loves the spotlight. Sean Payton hates it. Such a conflict, right?" So
Yeah, no,
another great
that's a great point. That's
Another
a
good
great
point,
point.
right? There's got to be, and it's Sean Payton's staff, right? So there's got to be the relationship that he has. So I thought that was a great comment. But before we go tonight, Kurt, you want to give your closing thoughts?
Yeah, my closing thoughts are again, you watch and when you talk to some people and you watch some people's Bronco shows on here and not the Denver Bronco Roundup, those guys are awesome, but you watch, you think we're a 2 and 15 team. We got to unload people. We're not close. We're not good. What are they watching? What are they watching? Again, I'm going to watch Houston this week. Okay. You should have beat them. You were right there with them. The other game, you beat both of those teams. You physically dominated Kansas City. You gave Kansas City such an ass kicking. You almost took the division from them. They're lucky that you faltered because you almost put them in a ended their little run. And Buffalo, you won in Buffalo. So 3 out of the 4 teams, you beat 2 of them. You should have beat the other one. You didn't play Baltimore. That's in the AFC. NFC, everybody, oh my God, Green Bay. You beat Green Bay, right? The other teams, Detroit got you. Listen, Detroit's better than you, hands down. Detroit's better than you. You're right there with Tampa Bay. We're right there. So we're going to tear this down. We need a rebuild. Why? That's not how the NFL works. I'm going to say it again. It's 4-year little windows. Next year, you're going to have a bunch of teams, just like nobody predicted Houston. Next year, you're going to have 3-4 more teams in that weren't in, right? Remember, the Chargers are going to be in every year. The Bengals are going to be in every year. This team's going to be in every year. Remember, the Dolphins are going to be 14-3. The Dolphins are in trouble. Mike McDaniel's in trouble. It flips. It flips. So, again, the most important thing, though, Jen, is the quarterback. And you sit back after a week and you know what you say, Jen? It's Russell Wilson or a rookie. That's it. That's it. That's all it could be. It's all it should be. And that's all it's going to be. That's it. Win now. Like Penner said, I expect more wins. I expect more wins than I had last year. Want to get that last comment in, Jen?
Oh, sure. Are you talking about the from YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, we got Leangelo Ball checking in saying, do you think they should trade a second rounder for Jones?
I'm not sure what if Mac Jones. I'm not sure what Jones. I wouldn't do it for Mac Jones. Would you, Jen?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for Mac. I'm just make sure see if it's that. Kenny's saying you're going to want to top DC because you have Stidham at quarterback next year. Joseph isn't that guy. Yeah, listen, it's Jen. It can't be. Let's be. We sit back and one more thing, Jen. And again, I want to thank you for producing tonight. You do an awesome job. But we watched the game, and you watched this past weekend with me, and we just sat and we said, Joe Flacco, like you can't have this backup in the playoff. And Mason Rudolph, they never had a chance to win that game. So it's just, Jen, you can't go and say, I'm going to play a backup quarterback and think you're going to win. So again, my final thoughts, it's Russ or a rookie. That's it. There's nothing else you could do. There's no way else you're gonna be able to win now and get ready for the future. So again, two people that listen, they might have egos or whatever. They got to be men. They got to fix it because you know what, Jen? Here's my final statement. Russ is best for Sean, and Sean and the Broncos are best for Russ. So you know what? Make it happen.
All right. Well, thank you for another great show, Kurt, and thank you to everybody for watching and commenting. Really enjoyed all of the audience interaction. Tried to get everybody's comments up there. Pearl saying, "Love the show. What a blast!" Thank you, Pearl. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
Pearl.
for watching and commenting. And
By the
until
way, we got to give Pearl a shout out, Jen, because when you put a picture of Bella, I believe she put a picture of her dog up on Facebook. Am
yes,
I
yes, yes,
correct?
absolutely, absolutely. Yep, yep.
So you
Got to
want to give
share the
a shout out?
dog love for sure.
Absolutely. No, but thank you, Pearl. Again, thank you to everyone. Angelo, um, obviously all the Denver Bronco roundup guys, Albert, Keith, Jody, Trevor, Kenny commenting from work. I'm probably not supposed to say that, but hey, I don't know who else is listening there. So Kenny's chiming in at work. And obviously, and just everybody. This is a great show. We're gonna stick with it, Jen. Right? We're gonna do it. You know, we kept saying
Yeah,
before the season's
like
over.
you said, things, there could be there's a lot of happenings in the off season.
Yeah,
So
I want to give a shout out to Wayne, but also, to Carson. But you know what? And like I said, we're gonna get into the shorts and all of us on K&K, and so anything Bronco, anything. Hey, we'll come. We're gonna do 30, little clips here and there. So I'm ready to go. But I'll just end it with this, Jen. Russ is best for Sean. Sean and the Broncos are best for Russ. That's
all
my
right.
statement.
Thank you for watching.